Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today from Hasbro in the g.i. Joe Classified Series line, we are featuring Cobra, Scrap Iron, and Anti-Armor Drone. Okay, if you've been following my channel for a while, you might remember maybe like 2 years ago, I'd made my own custom Classified Series Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron and Mutt were two of my favorite G.I. Joe figures as a child. There was just something about their uniforms and the overall aesthetic about the figure that I thought was really awesome. And man, I'm excited to check this out. You know, it looks like to be a very faithful recreation of the original design with some modern reimagining. For example, before back in the day, this was just a missile pod on a it was like a missile launcher on a tripod, but it looks like they kind of reimagined his weapon to now actually be like a drone, which kind of makes sense in modern times. You're getting all sorts of fun accessories, all sorts of cool blast effects, rockets, helmet, the works. A nice character portrait, and we see more of that over here. Scrap Iron stands in at 6.2 inches. Looks really nice. Yeah, so this looks great. So one thing I incorporated also in my custom Scrap Iron is that for mine you can remove the helmet and it kind of revealed a beat up, scarred up face, much like this one. I don't recall if in the animation or the original animation if he ever removed his helmet. But I do remember in one of the later animations, I can't remember if it was like Renegades or Resolute, where Scrap Iron, his face is revealed and it's kind of like mangled and scarred, much like the figure here. And if you're wondering, I got this on Amazon.com, but I did also see this at my local Walmart. So it's out in the wild. You just have to keep an eye out for it. I think it's one of the deluxe figure sets that people were really excited about. Alright, so real quick, when I was taking this out of the box, my first impression was no way. The drone looks gigantic. I didn't expect it to be this big. If you've handled the original toy, the original figure is about 3 3/4, 4 inches, and then the original missile launcher is kind of like this small box on a tripod, but this thing looks like a small vehicle. That's crazy. And accessory, the footlocker here is probably one of the heavier ones I've handled in the Classified Series line. And you're getting two baggies. Let's get these open. Oh man, this is... Alright, so my first thought too, as soon as I saw these, I'm like, these would be great effects to use like with my Dragon Ball figures. Anytime, if you watch Dragon Ball, any iteration of it, if you watch Z, Super, GT, whatever, they're always having those crazy battles and stuff's always exploding. And these would be so cool to like place next to like Goku or Vegeta. And man, these missiles really take me back. They look identical to the missiles that the original toy came with, but like this scaled up. Man, this is so cool. It even says laser guided right there on the missile. Oh man, that's awesome. And then here's his controller for the drone. It almost kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like a PlayStation Vita or like a Nintendo Switch. And then here's his very iconic helmet. Scrap Iron had a very specific helmet, and this looks awesome. You kind of have like an updated version of the Cobra emblem, and then he has the large lens. And then here's his comes with a pistol. But man, these really steal the show for me. These are awesome. Look at those. Those are great. These are so ridiculous. Look at this. All right, so you can man, these special effects are just. This one is wild. Look at that. It's kind of like the explosions at the bottom. It kind of like moves outward, but then there's this crazy spiral coming out from it. This is so cool. There's two of these. One's larger than the other. Man, I kind of feel like I said this before in another video. I really feel like they should make an accessory pack. You know, where they just sell extra weapons and stuff like this. I think people would eat that stuff up. And then we have the character artwork in grayscale. Looks pretty cool. Alright, let's take a look at Scrap Iron. This figure really takes me back to my childhood. I was such a big fan of the action figure. And it's wild. He has the scarred up face on his left side. You can see right there. There's some like pink discoloration. You can see the scar tissue. Kind of has the mohawk, more scars. So when I made my custom, I used the MCU Crossbones head. I thought that was perfect for it. I was a big fan of Frank Grillo, and I thought, you know, his head would be perfect for Scrap Iron. That looks great. I love the vest. It looks cool. Nice patterning and texture on top. It has the grenades. I love the harnesses here too. It kind of reminds me of the Star Wars X-Wing pilot uniform. How the straps kind of go underneath the legs like this. In fact, there's elements here that kind of do remind me of the X-Wing pilot. Like the helmet is kind of like X-Wing inspired also in its design. It's just kind of missing that top ridge, like you know, a couple inches high. But this looks really neat. All right, get into focus. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful looking figure. The base body is nice also. I kind of feel like if you wanted to, if you could remove the vest, you know, you could probably use the base body for a custom, maybe Cobra Commander, because I do like the how it has the collars, and then underneath he has like the red turtleneck underneath. Yeah, this is great. Great figure. Look at that. Nicely detailed. And then once you slap the helmet on, it really takes form, and then it's the Scrap Iron we all know and love. Yeah, there he is. Such a cool looking action figure. And then let's put his holster, his gun in his holster. Nicely sculpted, very clean prints of the Cobra emblem. I kind of wish I brought another figure with me. I kind of feel like there's some disconnect sometimes between the shade, excuse me, between the shade of blue they use amongst the figures. Like, they don't always match up, which is unfortunate. It's kind of like in the Transformer lines. I think there was like a line of Insecticons, and then the purples didn't match up with the trio, and then they just looked disconnected. I kind of feel like that with some of the Cobra Troopers and the infantry and stuff. Sometimes the shade of blue they use kind of varies from figure to figure. But yeah, it's great. For a hero character, he looks awesome. You know, it's not your standard infantry trooper, you know, Scrap Iron. He's a hero character, you know, he has a little bit more personality. God, this is a great figure. And then now we're onto the drone. So it's articulated. It looks like the centerpiece right here is where you attach the rocket launcher, and it's on a ball joint. I'm not going to snap it in place because I'm kind of worried that if I do, I won't be able to take it apart. And right now at the moment, I'm going to probably store this back in the box, at least this part, until I can figure out where I'm going to display it. But it's cool. It's like a small little tank. The design is slightly different than the original one. One thing the original one did have over this is that if you remember the original toy, he kind of had like a wired remote control, and then the wire would attach to this. But you know, this is the future. Instead of it being wired, you know, he has this control pad for it. Like I said, it kind of like resembles like a Nintendo Switch. And then this thing's on a ball joint, so it allows it to, you know, rotate. And then the nice thing too is that these wheels, these treads, they can move independently from one another. And then this does swivel. And then you can insert the missiles. Yeah, this takes me back. This is like the old toy. That's just so awesome. Very cool. Look at that. That looks awesome. And it's awesome too. They can take these out, and then you go like pretend it's like actually launching, which is just so ridiculous. I don't even know how these things are supposed to work. Does the box kind of highlight it? Nah. Yeah, but that's awesome, man. This is such a cool toy. We are so spoiled. But look at that. That's so cool. Yeah, I can't recommend this enough. This is like one of the figures I really anticipated when they first announced the line. Like I said, I was a big fan of Scrap Iron. Him and Mutt were like two of my favorite action figures. So for me, like at this stage in my life, to kind of like relive these memories, but with like newer action figures, is just so crazy. I mean, I think if you're a Transformer fan, you've been kind of spoiled because Transformers never really went away. Whereas G.I. Joe, you know, for as much love as it gets, the toy line it's not always very successful at retail. Although the classified series kind of changed that. Because like with Transformers, you know, we've always had some version of Optimus Prime, Megatron, Starscream, and Bumblebee over the last 20 or so years, because they never went away. You know, they were always on the shelves. But G.I. Joe, they always try bringing it back, and then it catches on like wildfire at first with some of the diehards, but it never really seems to have that longevity, which is the nice thing with the classified series, because I think they finally cracked the code and it's kind of realized that nostalgia is a big selling point, especially like, you know, people in my age group with a disposable income. So yeah, I can't recommend this enough. Excellent figure, perfect 10 in my opinion. You won't be disappointed. The accessories are amazing. The blast effects are cool. If you're very nostalgic for the original figure, you know, this ticks all the boxes. All right, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.